Well, hello and welcome to Digital Influence. Today I've got the pleasure of speaking with Carl Quested, and Carl is a marketer who specialises in working with real estate agents, but he's come up with a really exciting new product that I know a lot of my friends and clients are going to love. It's a subscription design service for growing brands, and it's offering a really new take on how to get your design work done. So without further ado, let's say hi to Carl. Thanks for coming on the show, Carl. How are you today?
Good, Dallas. Thanks for having me, and yeah, thanks for bringing me on.
Yeah, that's a pleasure, mate. So tell us more. I don't want to misrepresent what's quite a novel and exciting type of product. Tell us just a potted version of what Brandstrong is, and we'll learn more about it.
Yeah, sure. So Brandstrong is essentially a graphic design service, but not as you would sort of generally expect a graphic design service to be. So most people with graphic design would expect to pay an hourly fee based on the job that they need. So we've kind of moved away from that and productized that service into a subscription model. So you pay a monthly fee depending on the plan level that you need, and within that you get all of your graphic design needs covered. So regardless of how much you need to have done, it's covered under the plan.
So it's a fascinating twist on an existing model, and in many ways, you've modeled what's been done in some other industries. And I know in the past we've talked about WP Curve, which is a subscription-based WordPress support service. Is that one of the key inspirations, or what are some other ways that you came up with this service?
Yeah, look, the WP curve is definitely one of the I guess one of the models we looked at when deciding how we wanted to provide this service. I mean, very much for us, it was so my co-founder and I, we both sort of run businesses in the print field. So Carl, my other co-founder, actually runs a signage business, and we both came up against the problem all the time. So me with my real estate customer and him with his signage customers, that people just didn't know where to go for good design. They didn't have the budget for it. Or worse still, they would try and knock something up themselves and end up with sort of a subpar result, which they then spent thousands of dollars actually getting printed material for. So we kind of wanted to really just, fill that gap and, work out a way that we could bring design to people that didn't necessarily have huge, huge budgets.
Fantastic. And you point out a really big issue, and I see this all the time in small businesses. They really just don't know where to go, particularly when they're bootstrapping or when there is, a small side project that they haven't necessarily got a budget of thousands for. It's hard to know where to start, and people often suggest, oh, get it done on Fiverr, or get it done on Upwork. There are a lot of solutions to get some cheap design work, but as you and I have found out, and pretty much anyone who's tried these, they can be very hit and miss, and often the time cost, it really ignores the value of your time. So, and
Yeah,
the sad outcome is often people do try and do it themselves and miss all the benefits that you get from working with a designer. So, I think you're filling a really important gap. Yeah, speak to that. Thanks.
Yeah, Dallas. So look, I totally agree. Look, the global economy is something that we all, as business owners, big and small, need to be looking to take advantage of. And the difficulty is that a global economy means dealing with different cultures, different languages, and things like that. And when that comes to trying to convey a message as important as your brand and your business, that can sometimes be really challenging. So what we've aimed to do with Brandstrong is when jobs are submitted through us, our team is all Australian based that deals with those submissions. So nothing kind of goes through to our overseas team. We do have workers both in the UK and in the Philippines at this time, and that will grow to be global as well, very much like WP Curve do. But the requests are dealt with here. So we interpret what it is the client is trying to do. So you get an English to English interpretation. We then work with our team of designers who are all full-time employed. So we don't have freelancers that we just go to as and when we need stuff done. These are people that we have on the payroll doing work purely for us.
Fantastic. And as a client, do I get any continuity of access to a specific designer? Will I sort of have a random person each time, or is there an opportunity to sort of have the same designer work on my material as did last time?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the key things that we wanted to do was provide dedicated designers to our customers. So the model that we have come up with based on some research and the hours that we've looked at is that for every 20 clients that we have one dedicated designer. As soon as we hit 21 clients, we have another dedicated designer that takes over. Now, obviously, there's going to be some overlap when there's jobs which are urgent and things like that. We'll bring more people into the fold to get things done, but all of the workers are able to collaborate with the suite of tools that we use so that everyone is on the same page.
That's really fantastic. That's definitely one of my concerns with using any type of subscription, or even when you're outsourcing. Often you use someone, and then, and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on outsourcing sites, both for my own work and clients. And you use someone, they're really great. You think, look, this is great. I've finally got my brand under control. I'll stick with this guy, and then they disappear. So, part of that is the nature of freelancing. Often they're busy with a job, or they're not charging enough and they can't afford to stay alive. So having that continuity, I think, is one of the most valuable aspects to an otherwise already interesting service.
Yeah, look, I think definitely with freelancers, the biggest problem is that the good ones get snapped up, and I don't want to say they're not loyal because that's the wrong sort of terminology, but they obviously are trying to be a freelancer, which means they don't have guaranteed work. And whilst you might send them a flyer design and pay them $50, if someone comes along and they've got a game design that they're going to get paid $500 for, they're going to pursue that job. So what we've tried to do is alleviate that by saying, well, no, all of our designers are full-time employed by us. They've got guaranteed income. They've got their benefits are paid for, all the things they would expect in a normal full-time role. Leave, holiday, sick leave, all of that kind of stuff we take care of. So we have that loyalty as an employee.
And that is really attractive to many freelancers, and particularly, like you said, you've got people working in the Philippines. The culture there, they're much more attracted to the idea of a permanent job. That's a status thing, in the same way it was in the West 30 years ago, to sort of get in with a good company and work your way up. Whereas in the West now, we're much more likely to think being self-employed or freelancing or being an entrepreneur is an exciting option, and gives you more freedom. That's not very attractive to many outsourcers. So it's very attractive for them as employees, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yes.
Terrific. Well, I've just brought up the homepage to show where people what Brandstrong looks like. So it's brandstrong.co, and I must say I love your branding that you've used on the site. When it launched, it had a different image, a sort of animated vintage image. It was really attractive. So I think you've done a fantastic job with it. And if we scroll down, we've just got details about how it works, and at the top, a menu with some information about things like pricing. And so just talk us through how the pricing works, because look, I've got to say, I've been using designers for a long time, and this pricing is very accessible. I think almost for any business, certainly a business of more than a couple of people who takes their branding seriously should be looking at this. So can you talk us through the pricing? I'll bring it up on the screen for us to see.
Yeah, so look, we're in the process of updating the information on the pricing, not changing the pricing, of course, but just the information that's there to make it a little bit clearer. The business class plan, which is the entry plan at $199 a month, that's essentially going to cover the majority of businesses out there. What that covers is your unlimited graphic design, unlimited requests. You can submit one job at a time, and they have a 3-day turnaround. What that plan doesn't include is your more complex design work, which is likely to take sort of 2 hours or more. Now, Dallas, we don't put a time restraint on how much time a certain job should take. If it takes more than 2 hours and it's in the business class plan, that's fine. But the business class is for things such as stationery design, flyers, banners, even things like building signage, social media posts, and Facebook banners, logos, and things like that. The first class plan is for your more complex design work. So that might be things like illustrations, it might be multi-page brochures, it might be logo designs, infographics, or landing pages for websites. So those kinds of elements there come into the first class package. And then our private jet package, which is at your $5.99 a month, that's really more for agencies I guess, that are looking to outsource their overflow work. So, for example, if you're a printing business, you don't necessarily want to be bogged down with the graphic design side of things because you want to focus on printing. So the private jet plan is perfect for those kind of clients that have a need to outsource that work so they can focus on their core business.
Great. So as an agency or a web designer, someone in my shoes, then the private jet option gives you the ability to get client work done as well, rather than just your own. And look, at $5.99, that's incredibly attractive to many people, I'm sure. We've got a lot of sort of designers and agency owners in the audience here, so I'm sure you'll get some interest from this, Carl. Where are you now? Where are you up to? You've already got quite a few signups. You've been through a launch. Tell us what the plan is for Brandstrong.
Yeah, so look, we launched this time last week, actually, Friday of last week. So we sort of had a bit of a soft launch to our existing networks and people that had sort of shown an interest in the service. So we got to our first 20 members that have signed up for the service, and we're just starting to process the first jobs that are coming through that now. So we're pretty excited by that. You know, our aim is obviously to consolidate the process and make sure that we're giving those clients fantastic designs and a fantastic user experience as they use us. You know, from here, we've rolled out an affiliate program. So for those people that have an existing network that they want to introduce this service to, there is a commission that we can pay those people as an affiliate for a program which is set up for that. So people are more than welcome to get in touch with us and ask us about that. From there, we obviously just get into the nuts and bolts of our everyday marketing. So everything from Facebook ads, we'll be doing some telemarketing, we'll be doing some direct mail. Obviously, the areas that we specialize in. So we're going to go very old school because, again, it matches our brand. And the great thing is that when we can put great graphics together and we can print those out and give some people something tangible and let them know that's been designed by Brandstrong, that's also very appealing too.
Terrific. And it's probably worth you telling us more about your background. So as I said, you are in the real estate marketing industry yourself, but tell us a bit more about your other business.
Yeah, sure, Dallas. So Agent Mail, my existing business, which is just over 5 years old now, it specializes in direct mail and telemarketing for the real estate industry. So the main service we're providing there is printed direct mail, so personalized letters being sent out via Australia Post. And we have a call center as well based in Brisbane of people that are making calls for real estate agents. We also do some work for some business brokers, some mortgage brokers, making calls to set up appointments for them as well.
Fantastic. So yeah, that's what really interests me about this. It's actually coming from the pointy end of the marketing industry, you know, rather than coming from the designers. So really, you know, you've got that that market awareness that comes from being the people actually sending out the flyers, dealing with clients, and you've obviously had enormous volume of work go through your past business, letting you, you know, look for opportunities to make this efficient, and that's one of the ways you're able to make it so affordable, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Look, with Agent Mail, we're sending close to 3 million letters a year, and we're exposed to a lot of very, very poorly designed letters that are going out the door. You know, from people using Word to using images that still have Shutterstock watermarks on them, just some really poorly designed things. And we really, you know, we got to the point of frustration where we were saying, look, you know, you guys are putting your brand against this. You're spending thousands of dollars on sending these things out. And the return that you're getting is not a great brand profile. So how can we fix this? How can we provide a service that is going to provide you the ability to do that without breaking the bank or without you having to manage, you know, countless offshore people and try and, you know, manage lots of different processes.
Tell me also, how do you handle printing? How does that fit into the process? So do
Yeah, so
people
look,
contact you for print supplies, or do they go to their own printer?
yeah, either or. We can actually integrate with your existing printers, so we can just get delivery of your existing print in stock. But we actually have our own online printing portal as well, where people can go to order all of their printing needs, from business cards to flyers to presentation folders and everything in between.
Great, great. And just tell me, Carl, what really inspired you personally to look at this? Because this is a big undertaking. I know you're a busy guy. You released a book last week, last year, and I believe you're working on another one at the moment. So, where did you find the time and energy to put into this, and what were your motives?
Look, it was really my business partner and I have been good friends for a number of years. We sort of got into business at very similar times, and there's a little bit of overlap in our industries. You know, we're both in print to a certain extent. We both sort of, I guess, have the same frustrations and headaches with our clients. And we sort of always wanted to do something together. We sort of, you know, we originally sort of talked about doing a podcast, and we weren't really in love with the idea just because we didn't feel that we could, you know, add any massive value there. It might be something that we investigate again further down the line. But my business partner, Carl, had always had this name, Brandstrong. And he'd had it registered for a number of years, and he's like, I don't know what to do with it. I just love it. I just love the sound of it. I love what it, you know, what images it invokes. And we sort of sat down and started we just kind of found we had exactly the same problems in design. You know, every now and then I'd shoot him across something and say, look, you know, this customer sent this through. Can you just fix it up for me? And we kept on doing these sort of quick little fixes. So it just kind of seemed like a great idea to provide something that allows businesses to, you know, to take their marketing to the next level.
Terrific. And who is your ideal client for this? Who out there listening right now should be heading on their computer to brandstrong.co and checking it out to see if it's for them?
Yeah, look, really any business, I guess, that is passionate about their brand, but doesn't necessarily know where to go for the support. They're probably at a size where they are, you know, they have some customers, they're already sort of established to a certain extent, and what they're looking to do now is kind of take their branding and marketing to the next level. So it's really important to probably note that this service is not a marketing agency service. It is a design service. So we don't necessarily assist with things like copywriting, you know, or overall sort of marketing ideas. So the person does sort of need to have a general idea as to, you know, what they're looking to achieve and how they want to achieve it.
Terrific. And similarly, agencies or people who need design skills for their clients, they should be heading there to check out the private jet package, shouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's perfect for agencies that just kind of want overflow for when their designers are too swamped. If they want to sort of pass off, I guess, the more monotonous tasks. You know, we understand that most design agencies will want to keep the more complex tasks in-house, you know, but for quick fixes and things like that, it's kind of the perfect task. And if you're a print agency or something like that, rather than having to hire an in-house graphic designer, you know, you can literally just use this service and you can bill for that how you want. You know, we really don't mind what you do with the end product from there.
Great. And where do you see this going? What's your vision for Brandstrong as a company?
Yeah, look, we got pretty big visions for it. We want to achieve. So we're at 20 members right now. Our aim is to get to 100 members by the end of this year. And then next year, we're going to sort of look to take it on a more global platform. So right now, we have a focus on Australia, just because that's where we are and where we're based. But going forward, our intention is to have designers across all time zones. So literally, we can bring that 3-day turnaround down to next day. That's definitely sort of an eventual goal. Based on having a mix of staff across the globe and then having clients globally as well.
Fantastic. Well, thanks again, Carl, for joining us. And you know, any parting words for people with that hot domain name and a great idea? What are your tips for seeing a project like this through? Because I know it's been a huge undertaking. Anything you want to share about, you know, how to finish a project like this and launch it so successfully?
Yeah, look, I think it's really important to sort of have some accountability. So, you know, I announced in a number of business groups a while ago that we were going to get this done. You might remember seeing on our original landing page, we had a countdown timer as to when the site was actually going to launch. So we kind of put that out there. So everyone that went to the site was seeing that countdown timer. We couldn't really afford to, I mean, we could have adjusted it if we wanted to, but we kind of just said, no, you know, that's the date we're going to launch, and whatever's ready at that point in time is ready. And look, we were literally, you know, the bank account was set up on the Thursday before we launched. and we just about managed to get the Stripe integration in before the site actually went live. So there was a couple of sleepless nights there where we were getting stuff done, but where we stand right now, it's definitely all worth it. So there's still a lot to do. There's still a lot of work to put in, and we obviously want to work with our customers very closely to make sure we fulfill their needs. And that's probably the key. Is look, I can't remember if it was Dan Norris who said, you don't learn until you launch. And that's sort of really key. Is you can't sort of start learning what your customers expect from you and how best to service them until you've actually got them.
Fantastic, Carl. Well, thanks so much for sharing. And look, I'd love to follow up with you in 6 months or 12 months to follow the story and see where you've gone with it, because it's an exciting service, and I think it's one that's going to be warmly received by entrepreneurs and business owners around Australia. So
awesome.
Good luck with it.
Yeah, thank you. And look, I'd be more than happy to come back on any time.
Terrific. Good on you, Carl.
Thanks, Alice.
Have a great day. Cheers. Bye then.